My name is Kweku Timin and we're ready for some business updates. Let's now move straight to the local front and talk about taxation, as the National Association of Sachet Packaged Water Producers have expressed shock at the introduction of the 17.5% value-added tax, that's the VAT, on sachet water by government without its knowledge. According to the association, officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority, that's GRA, approached them to collect VAT on their products for 2014 and 2015. The association said when they registered attempts to collect the VAT, they were told by the GRA officials that government has since 2013 introduced VAT on pure water. On the line to speak with us now is the president of the Association of Sachet Water Producers. He would be joining us shortly, but the association for some time now have registered their displeasure on the issue of sachet water and they being taxed. Joining us on the line currently is the president of the association, Magnus Nunu. Many thanks and a very good afternoon for joining us, Magnus. Let me first of all find out from you, are you surprised that you are being taxed, that's VAT, on sachet water?
Well, of course, I mean, I was very much surprised actually when we heard that actually sachet water now, I mean, it has become vatable. I mean, so what we did as an association was to formally write to the minister, that's the sector minister, the Minister of Finance, to confirm or otherwise if sachet water is vatable.
All right, Magnus, tell me more about the law. Now, why this confusion? Because
if I may read certain portions of the response to you, and then it says that we wish to say that this ministry shares the sentiments of the Water Producers Association and understands that even though sachet water is a packaged product, charging VAT on it will make it a bit expensive and beyond the reach of the ordinary Kenyan. However, it has to be noted that it would require an amendment by Parliament to the existing law in order to consider and waive the VAT charge on sachet water, which is a packaged product, and under a strict interpretation of Act 870 of the VAT Act 2013 is not VAT exempt. So with this, I mean, this is a response we received from the ministry when we wrote to inquire from them if indeed sachet water is now vatable. But they've given us a leeway that they share in our sentiments, and they will require another step actually to Parliament to have it amended. Actually, to repeal it's a much longer process, but to amend it or waive it, they could do that. What we have done in response to this letter is to write again to the minister to actually consider a waiver or amendment to the law, because the difference is that with the VAT law, the law is generic, because the VAT rate is a fixed rate for all products. That is NHIS, and then the others together is 17.5%. But then if you come to excise tax, that one, it is product specific. And then the reason why we wrote the first one, when we checked with the excise tax law, which is Act 878, we realized that sachet water was actually stated in there, and then it wrote zero rated. That means that the formulators of the law, or those who actually pass the law, they probably not have the intention, just like it's stated in the minister's letter, that they share in our sentiments to actually, bring more hardships to the final consumer. And we believe so. So we have requested of them to consider a waiver, just the fact that large numbers of the population actually consume sachet water presently, and it's become cleaner than ever before. All right, and now Magnus, we're waiting for the response.
Magnus, let me come to this point. Now, you are writing to the ministry to request for a waiver. If this does not happen, can you confirm that we are on our way as a people to pay more?
they stated in their letter or an amendment require that, and we have requested them to do that. From here, assuming they say no, we probably have other options we want to do until we get to the finals for finals, and then if not, why not? I mean, we can only tell the public then that these are the steps we took, and all fell on deaf ears or rock. And so as you speak, we prefer to pay actually 17% more than we used to pay on sachet water. But we are not there yet, I believe so. We are not there yet.
Magnus, I can say a big thank you for joining us this afternoon to really expatiate further on reasons why it would be difficult for the sachet water producers to embark on that VAT payment. We'll do other stories now, and here we're joining my colleague Dan Latte, who is with Bus now. Now, Bus has agreed to reopen their Upper East Regional Depot. This is to ensure easy access to fuel supply to the region. Dan Latte would come through shortly and tell us indeed reasons why Bus have decided to embark this initiative. Dan Latte, many thanks for joining us this afternoon. We're excited to have you. You are in the Upper East region now. Can you give us reasons why Bus has decided to embark on this initiative, and indeed the tank there, the capacity of it?
The reopening was done this afternoon, and the storage farm was built in 1993 and unfortunately could not start operations, but the depot, as we speak now, takes reserves from the Brupe depot to distribute to neighboring Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and other neighboring countries. But the good news is that Bus has been able to recover 8.8 million liters out of the 9 million liter fuel stored in the pipelines. And the Burger facility, as we speak now, has a storage capacity of 46 million liters, 12 million gasoline, and 34 million gas oil. Now, the expectation is that Bus will be able, as a robust infrastructure, through a robust infrastructure, will be able to serve efficiently in the deregulation of the downstream petroleum sector. And we were speaking to the managing director, Mr. Kwame Iwadakun, who raised some important issues, saying that the deregulated pricing system has created an advantage for various trucks loading from Tema, with the aim of going to Burkina Faso and Mali to sell the products in Ghana, and this is making the country lose a lot of revenue.
All right. Now, Dan, just before you go, hitherto, where were the challenges that the people or the countries that were going to be supplied, what were the challenges that they were facing?
Well, let me quickly run you through what Burkina Faso is currently having. Burkina Faso has depends on 85 to 100,000 tons, and according to them, this supply is not inadequate for the country. Now, Ghana would have to serve Burkina Faso with about 25,000 tons to actually give them fuel security, because there is no enough fuel in that country to actually serve the people there. Ghana, we depend on about 25 to 170 tons a month, and Burkina does 85 to 100 a month. And so we'll be supplying them in batches fuel of 25,000 tons in a month.
All right, Dan Latte, I'm sincerely grateful, and I'm sure you're coming back with some interesting pictures that our viewers will get a clearer understanding of what we're talking about. We'll do some more stories now, and here some communities within the Anglo-Gold Ashanti or Boase mine operation zones have appealed to government to intervene and help resolve the impasse between them and the company over compensation. The communities are claiming Anglo-Gold Ashanti has flouted the agreement on the compensation.
Anglo-Gold Ashanti began site preparation for mining in the area in 2012. The area covered more than 1,000 acres in radius. The Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, mandate all mining leaseholders to successfully negotiate compensation with landowners and lawful occupants prior to the start of operations. But in the case of the farming communities, AngloGold Ashanti first entered their land, destroyed crops, and later decided to enter into negotiations with affected farmers. The communities, which are in the Obuasi municipality and Amansie Central District, include Sanso, Enyinem, Diawuso, New Bidium, and Nyamebechere. The people say they are not happy about the development and want government intervention.
We are not against AngloGold Ashanti mining on our land. What we are vehemently opposed to is the use of one mining company to dislocate another economic activity, particularly agriculture, on terms that centers on illegalities. In short, while AngloGold Ashanti can go ahead to make their profit, this should not be at the expense of the poor farmers, whose only source of substance is smallholder agriculture.
The spokesperson of the group, Olivia de la Vifiagbo, debunked claims most of the farmers are imaginative. The group assured they would adopt all legitimate means to take what rightfully belongs to them.
All right, so we're done with business. We have more stories to stay with us.